Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Zak from Cape Town, South Africa. Man, I've been absolutely gobsmacked with the amount of response to this channel. Thank you so much for everybody that's been inspiring me to carry on with these videos. I've been doing a bunch of shorts. Some of them got over 1,000 views. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting much of anything. So again, thank you very much for everybody that's been watching, liking, subscribing, all of that. Thank you. Keep up the good work and I'll keep up my good work. Right. As I've said before, we're going to be doing a large variety of videos in this channel. One series will not be for the veterans, it will not be for the people who already know the game, it will be for the people who have just started the game. This game has been going on for a long time. I started in 3rd edition, we are now in 10th edition Leviathan. Who knows when 11th will launch. I'm really happy with the rule system as it goes right now. But for those who are brand new to the hobby, or for those that were in previous versions and they want to get into 10th edition now, I hope that this video becomes like a easy to understand, easy to have conversation, and just watch me run through some basic core concepts. It's my theory that the best way to learn to play this game is to go to the hobby store or go to your friend's house and put the models on the table, get your dice out and start to play the game. That's my advice. You might be excited, you might want to know some more things, you might want to learn some stuff, maybe you're just unsure about how certain rules happen. I'm quite happy to be tapped on the shoulder while I'm at the hobby store to ask, hey Zak, how do we do this rule? Hey Zak, what happens when we're in this particular situation? This is also why in tournaments we have a judge to mediate when things are a little bit iffy. We don't want to put things into one person's corner too much. Right, but let's rewind all the way back. This particular video will be one of those that's going to discuss the core concepts. I'll do other videos and I'll start putting them together into a series on the channel where I'll jump straight into stuff that's happening right now in the meta, stuff that's happening right now that are amazing combinations that we're getting into, and things that are happening that are exciting in our hobby group, that kind of thing. So let's jump straight into it. You're new to Warhammer 40,000. What do you need to know straight off the bat? It's a board game. It has a rule book. The rule book is free online. You can grab, that's a PDF that comes from, I'll put the link in the description of the video, but it's warhammercommunity.com. You go to downloads, go to Warhammer 40,000 and you get yourself your core concepts. That core concepts PDF is exactly what they supplied you with in the Leviathan core rulebook. That's literally the same page, and every page after that, page by page, artwork for artwork, they are all the same. So let's go there, page down, there's that Eldar, same pictures, same explanations and examples. Right, so I'm not going to go onto the PDF and go word for word for you. I've explained to you where to find them, but we're going to conversationally run through the game. A lot of what you will be reading in the core concepts, as well as when you start reading your data sheets for your faction. So you pick up your faction, you'll get a codex or an index if they haven't yet got a codex, and you'll go to their rules and you'll get a whole lot of description here. I'm going to run through how to read a data sheet, but the core concepts revolve around very specific words, and this is where when you play Warhammer 40,000, if you it might seem a little bit like rules lawyering, but it's actually very simple. There are words in there like unit, model, wholly within, wholly without. These are the things that are going to make everything makes sense to you much easier. So when we talk about model, we talk about any of these. There's a model here. If you can see the pyramids and that's a model. These are models. When we talk about unit, we mean a squad of troops, a walker like this, a monstrous creature. A unit could be a single character, could be a tank. These are all units. So individually, if we look at these guys over here, it's 1, 1, 1, 1. But when we go to the 5 or a 10-man or a 20-man unit, that's a whole unit. You could also possibly join a character to the unit. That'll form one unit, and then it'll say from the model, whatever the case might be. In Warhammer 3000, you're going to have to get yourself one of these. I'm in South Africa, we measure in centimeters, but in this game you measure in inches. And I play the Imperium of Man, so go Imperial. Not really. I look at me, I'm wearing overalls. In my profession, we measure in millimeters and meters, but in this game, yeah, this is how you measure. So when we're measuring from models or with abilities, anything like that, this is where things get interesting. I said to you, core concept is to understand what it means to be within or wholly within. So case in example, this is an Iron Priest, which is just a kind of tech marine. One of his abilities says that he can use his blessing when there's a vehicle within 3 inches. So this is quite a beat up tape measure here, but you can take my word for it. There's the 3. If I measure any part of my base to any part of that vehicle's base, or if we take this Land Raider over here, now he doesn't have a base, but we can go top down and look at the 3 and say, wow, you know, I'm still within 3 inches, till about there. That's about the maximum distance I can go. I can go to any part of the model. I would say that it's cheating if you had to go and move this movable gun just to get your range. If it was already in that position when we started, maybe, but I wouldn't move my guns around while we're busy playing a match just to get those 3 inches in. And this Iron Priest has an ability that now activates or works. He actually has 2 that work when he is within 3 inches of a friendly vehicle. The game has got phases and turns. So it's a strategy board game with turns, much like chess. Any normal game is going to have 5 battle rounds, which consist of my player turn, the opponent's player turn, my player turn, opponent's player turn, and so on and so forth. Every turn of mine will then be divided into, and I'm like, this save, I wasn't going to be referencing to there, but it's right in the front. Very easy to see. There are phases within my turn. So once we start on understanding these concepts, it becomes very easy to play. There's a sequence of play, there's a sequence of phases. Once you finish a phase, once you finish everything you do in that phase, you can't go back if you're already busy with another phase. Sometimes we forget things, and in a friendly game, oh, I forgot to use this ability, do you mind if I just resolve it? Quite fine, good sportsmanship. Tournaments, things get more competitive. No, you're already in your next phase. It's quite normal for people to say, you're bad, you forgot, we can't roll back, that kind of thing. Usually we can play by intent, and I'll get more into that in future videos. So the 5 phases of the turn is the command phase. Command phase is where people take battle shock tests. You can use command abilities to give boosts to each other. In a matched play event, we'll be drawing our secondary mission cards, all that kind of thing. Then it's the movement phase. So very simply, the character's got a certain amount of move. He will then move the distance that he can move, and it's from if this is the front of my base, then I will measure from the front of it my maximum movements. The easiest way to do it this way, and then my front of my base will not go past the front of the tape measure, because that'll be my maximum movement. I don't have to move the maximum, I can move any amount up there, but it's just important not to measure from the front of your base and then to frog leap, because if I did that with a model that's got a massive base, I could start measuring, oh, I've got 8 inches of movement there, which will end me up over there where the dice is. But if I frog leap it over, how many inches am I stealing? So we don't do that. There's a lot of other very peculiar rules when it comes to movement. We'll break it down in future videos. We then have a shooting phase. It's very simple. Once a model is here and a target is there, we can take a measurement. We then roll some dice to see if we hit the target. If we damage the target takes an armor save of some sort or not, and takes damage and is possibly removed from the battlefield depending on what sort of gun you're using. There's then a charge phase. If you're close enough to declare a charge, you'll then roll some dice, see if you get into engagement range close by, and then you will resolve melee attacks in the fight phase. And that is the core concepts. I don't want to ramble on, because I can talk about Warhammer 40,000 and even about these core concepts for a very long time. My aim is to break these up, not in half an hour videos, maybe 10-minute videos, 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos tops. That's what my aim will be, so that we can get some good learning and keep the attention span and excitement where we need it to be. If you've got any questions, please pop me a message in the comments. If there's a concept that you want me to cover specifically, if you're a new player, if you're not a new player, you've been playing for a while. There's also something else that I must mention. Games Workshop, and in this game Warhammer 40,000, they endeavor to keep the rules easy to read. However, it is very possible for you to end up with a misconception, and I've seen with my decades of experience in this hobby that an entire wargaming community, an entire club level, will read a rule and play a rule a certain way, and because everybody's happy to play it a certain way, that's not a problem. But then they come up against somebody else who plays the rule completely differently. Now, inside one community, those different opinions will clash. They'll get together, they'll have the different opinions, they'll consult the online resources of the international tournament levels that they're playing. There's errata, there's FAQs, and yet there's still sometimes a situation that might occur where the rules are not clear. And then your tournament organizer in a tournament will just make a call, and then we'll check later on to see how it happened. But like, getting back to what I was saying, I've seen it happen where an entire club of 40 people play a rule one particular way, despite whatever literature is available online. And even with the literature that's available online, there's still more than one interpretation. And then another club of 40 odd people plays it a different way. Now they're playing a tournament where there's maybe 10 representatives of each, and we're talking about very specific rules where one particular unit has a rule that now clashes with another unit's rule, and this club has decided to resolve these problems a specific way, and the other crew has decided on something else. So I've seen where this turned into heated arguments, and at the end of the day, tournament organizer, his word is law. Otherwise, before the tournament is played, when there's these questions, the guys raise it with the community, and they say, listen, this is how we've been playing it, how do you guys play it? Do we all agree this is how we're running that rule? But yeah, that's just I just mention it because it's important to understand that you might start playing the game, and I've experienced this as well. You get people who live in the heartland, the hub of wargaming communities, where they live in big cities, where there's official sources, official people, wargaming groups that tournament players who go overseas to play, they play internationally. Those people are all linked up, so when you play a local tournament, then your international gamer has come along to just be your tournament organizer, and he teaches the way that it's played in the grand tournament level, 100%. On the other hand, you might not have access to that group. You might live in an area where you're far away from an official authority, and then a YouTube video like this probably will go a long way to help you to get to where you need to be. So ask these questions. If you and your friends have been in a I wouldn't say rural, just not in a main town where there is a big hobby shop, but you've got enough people interested to play the game in your town. Now you get together and you start playing the game, and then eventually you start finding that people have different opinions about how a rule is played. Now it's time to look at the FAQs, the erratas, and if that still doesn't make any sense, like I said, it's a bit of a rules lawyering thing. Please feel free to ask me on this channel. I'm not overburdened. I will answer your questions. Not a problem. Alright, I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope it wasn't boring. Please give me feedback on that. Longer videos, Zak, shorter videos, Zak, more detail, Zak, slow down, Zak, talk faster, Zak, I don't know. I speak a little bit fast, there's a lot to cover, and I can speak about this hobby for years. So, catch you on the next one. Cheers.